Hello, boys and girls. It's Miss Martha here. I hope that you had an incredible Easter. I hope that you had some fun with your family, that you were able to take time to celebrate Jesus' death and resurrection. And we are here with another Sunday school lesson. Now, I want to let you know that this is going to be our last lesson about the Sermon on the Mount. Those lessons that we've been talking about from when we were still here all together, and for some of our online lessons that we've been doing, this will be the last one about the Sermon on the Mount. But then I'm going to transition into some new lessons with some different topics, some different ideas. So make sure you still check on Saturdays for emails from me with Sunday school lessons. But they will look a little different. But I'm just super excited to continue doing some more Sunday school lessons with you virtually. So we've been talking about all these different things from Jesus' Sermon on the Mount found in Matthew. And today we're going to be talking about what it takes to build a foundation and what it takes to build a house on a firm foundation. And we're going to look at a story right from Matthew that kind of talks about it. And then we're going to talk about who our firm foundation is. So before I got into that, a reminder, I will attach Mr. Blake's music if you want to sing along with him. You can also go on to Group Publishing right now and access music videos from them for free. I think if you use the code STREAMNOW, I'll add that in the link as well. So you could be using some of Group's music videos, but you can also be using songs with Mr. Blake, and I would really encourage you to do those before or after this lesson. And then we're going to go straight into our lesson talking about this firm foundation and the wise and foolish builders. So this comes from Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 29. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down and the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. All right, so talking about this wise and foolish builders. I don't know if you have ever been to a beach or somewhere with sand and built a sandcastle, but I love sandcastles. I think they're so cool. But Jesus is talking about that if you're going to build a house, you need that firm, that strong foundation. So he talks about if you build it on sand and the waters come, the waves raise. If you're at a beach and you're building a sandcastle, you got to be careful not to build it too close to the water, because once the water comes, what happens? Well, once the water comes with the sand, it goes away. We lost that foundation. It isn't a solid foundation. It all scatters and goes away. But Jesus talks about that if we build our house on a rock, nothing happens to that rock. That rock is strong and firm and mighty, and it stands there. So Jesus isn't really giving ideas on how to build a house. Yeah, that's a smart idea if you're building a house, not to build it on sand, but to build it on something solid. But what he's really talking about is our lives and what we build our lives on. Right now, you probably feel like there's a lot of things different in your life. That there are a lot of things that have changed, that haven't really felt safe and secure and steady. That things are different, that you miss people, that you miss doing those normal routines you had. And it kind of feels like we're living on sand right now, that there's just some unsteadiness in our lives. Well, we are reminded that Jesus is our rock, that he is our firm foundation. He is where we can go because we know that he's not going to change, that nothing changes about Jesus, that he is the same today, tomorrow, yesterday, forever. He is our rock and he is our firm foundation and he is there for us always. And so we know that when we put our trust in him, when we know that Jesus is going to take care of us, that we don't have to worry about the things that feel unsteady, that feel not so firm in our lives. That Jesus is taking care of us in the midst of all the craziness, that he is our foundation. So I'm going to add that to our Sermon on the Mount board. And if you see, I kind of moved some of those other rocks up because we're going to put this one at the very bottom. It's kind of a silly looking rock, but rocks can look like this. It kind of looks like that one. Because I want to remind us that Jesus is our firm foundation. When we put him at the beginning of everything we do, we can build up from that. And when we look at all these lessons that we have been talking about over the past few months in Sunday school, whether it was when we were still here or whether it was online, we remember that we can shine for Jesus. We talked about that Jesus was our salt and our light, but we can also be that light in the world. That God forgives us when we get angry, that he has promised to keep his promises, that God blesses us, that he calls us to love our enemies, that he loves a giving heart, and that we are reminded that he is bigger than our worries. All those things remind us that Jesus is our firm foundation, that we don't have to be afraid of what this life is, what's going on in this world and going on in our lives right now, because Jesus is that firm foundation. That he's not going to change when the waters come, when things in our lives get scary, or when things go wrong. Jesus doesn't change. Jesus stays the same, and he stays there to protect us and to love us and to remind us that we're not alone, that he is with us. So I pray that you remember that Jesus is our firm foundation, that he is that rock that we can build our life on, and that he is going to be there through it all. That Jesus is with us in all the things that we go through in life. He is there for us. So I will attach some things for you from the story. I've got a coloring sheet, a maze, a crossword puzzle, and then the prayer sheet as always. If you would like to do any of those, print them out, create your own. And like I said, this will be our last Sermon on the Mount lesson, but be on the lookout for new lessons of different topics, different themes, different ideas, and hopefully some more things that you can do at home. I would also encourage you to try to build a house out of the things you have in your house. If you've got Legos or cups or bricks or toys of your own that you can build a house, I would love to see you build a house with a firm foundation on a steady ground, and I would love to see pictures of you building those houses and seeing those, to be reminded that Jesus is our firm foundation on which we build our entire life on. So friends, I pray that you have an incredible week, that if there's still snow on the ground, that you maybe enjoy it. I don't know, I'm over the snow, but if you like it, make sure you go have fun with it, because hopefully it'll be gone soon. But friends, I just pray that you know that you are loved, that Jesus is your rock, that he is your protector, that he takes care of us, and that he loves us so incredibly much. Have a great week, friends. Bye.